Hi everybody, today for our English focus we're going to be exploring this piece of punctuation. Do you remember what it is called?
This punctuation is called speech marks. It's also known as inverted commas.
One of the reasons we use speech marks is to show us that direct speech is being used. This means that characters are speaking to each other. Speech marks or inverted commas are not just one piece of punctuation, they're actually a pair. We begin by writing our opening speech mark, which looks a little bit like a 66. Then we include our speech and we end it with our closing speech marks, which look a little bit like a 99. Here I've got a picture of a character from one of my favourite stories, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now you can see he has a speech bubble there and he's saying, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" And underneath we've written the speech using speech marks. We've started it with our opening speech mark, a question mark and a closing speech mark. We've also got cried baby bear. Now speech marks are helpful for two reasons. They tell us that someone is talking, someone is speaking, but they also help us with our reading and our expression. So now I can read that sentence a little bit differently and I might read it as, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" cried baby bear. And cried is a little bit more interesting than the word said. It's really important after you've written speech to indicate who has spoken. Now, like I said, the word said is a little bit boring, so I've got lots of different words here that I can use.
I've got this lovely picture here of lots of different characters doing lots of different things. What I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and have a look at each of the characters and have a think, use your imagination. What might the characters be saying? You could have a go at writing what they're saying by using some speech marks. Okay, so pause the video and have a go. I've had a go at writing a sentence using this picture of this boy who is parachuting. Let's have a look at my sentence. "Yippee, this is so much fun!" exclaimed the boy. As you can see, I started with my opening speech marks. Yippee, this is so much fun. I've ended in an exclamation mark because I think the boy is exclaiming how he is saying that. And I've ended it with some closing speech marks. As you can see here, I've used the word exclaimed instead of said, just to make it that bit more interesting. And I've written the boy because that is who is talking in the picture. For my second sentence, I'm using this picture of the cat who is fishing. Here is my sentence. "I'm so hungry, where are the fish?" asked the fluffy cat. Now let's check if I've punctuated that correctly. I've begun with my opening speech marks, so now I know somebody is talking. "I'm so hungry." Oh look, I've used an apostrophe here for my contraction. Oh, I've ended in an exclamation mark. And I've also got my capital letters, which is really important. "Where are the fish?" Now I've got a question mark here because he's asking a question, and then I've got my closing speech marks. It's always really important to include your punctuation inside the speech marks, not outside. Then I've got the word asked, because that is what he's doing. He's asking a question. Asked the fluffy cat. This girl here looks like she is having a lovely time in the sun. Now I've written a sentence, but I've not punctuated it correctly. There are lots of things wrong with my sentence. "What a fabulous sunny day," cheered the girl as she was sunbathing. I've not got one piece of punctuation. I've not checked my capital letters. And I definitely don't have any speech marks. Can you pause the video and fix my sentence for me? Okay, I've fixed my sentence now. As you can see, I've begun it with my opening speech marks over here. So now I know that a character is talking. The next thing I fixed was the W on what. That needed to be a capital letter. What a fabulous sunny day. I've got a comma here to separate my two adjectives, and I've got an exclamation mark here because my character here is exclaiming. And I have also included my closing speech marks, and that is now to tell me that my character has stopped talking. She has finished her speech. And lastly, I've got a full stop here, which is really important. Can you write some super sentences using this picture and think about what the characters might be saying? Have a go.